Hi, Daddy.
Hey guys, Ash and Throw coming at you with the Variant Dungeon Bosses, starting from the right-hand path and working through the left. This is the first end boss. This is the second time I fought him, and it was different than the first time, so I'm not sure if these boss fights change a little bit each time you come in, because I didn't change any other settings. I think I'm still doing it on the same difficulty level, but this is different than the first original fight that I did. This guy's pretty easy. All you have to do is not stand in the bad stuff and pay attention to the mechanics. So that spinning light that's going around, that's going to push you back in the direction that the light hits you when it explodes. So you want to make sure that you're timing where you're getting hit by that light to not get hit by anything else around the room. These fireballs, you see it's a triangle. Stand the furthest away that you can from them. There's going to be a little safe spot like that, and then just carry on. He does hit you with some tank busters, so if you're DPS like me, I'm on my monk, you're going to want the tank shield and the heal. Just makes it a lot easier in this fight. And every other portion of the variant dungeon until here. The tank shield and the heal is great. These things switch paths, so you're going to see where everything ends up. So right now I'm standing next to the fire. When those things switch, it's going to open that safe spot for me to stand in, and it's just going to carry on like that throughout the mechanics of the whole fight. Here you'll notice the pushback. I'm still trying to figure out that mechanic because it's the first time I'm in here, so I didn't realize, I think, until right then that I needed to be as close to that thing as possible and positioned in a way where I'm not going to land in other stuff when he hits me with it. These are just giant lasers that are going to shoot out. They shoot out in a wide beam at first and then go to a narrow beam, so make sure you're in a safe spot because that is a one shot as well. And then once you're done that phase, then it's going to kind of combine all of the rest of the stuff all at the same time. There's nothing really new that you need to worry about other than being able to manage multiple mechanics at the same time. Except for this purple thing. So stand on the darker one first, then move over to the lighter one because the lighter one's always going to explode first. I apologize for missing that mechanic. I got a little bit ahead of myself, but I'm going to leave you to watch the rest of this boss fight, and I will see you in the next one. All right, and this little jerk store killed me more than once trying to get it done. This is the far left-hand path boss. She's a soapy little, I don't know if it's a chipmunk or a mouse, but she's a soapy little squeaker. Couple big mechanics that you need to look out for here is the tail swipe. She'll say squeaky right. So the right hand side of her is going to get crushed with an extra deep wave on the second swipe. So you want to stay on the left. So whatever you're reading, you're going to do opposite. So she's squeaking right, you stay on the left. She squeaks left, you stay on the right. There's also a green ball mechanic that's going to happen on her tail, and a yellow ball mechanic that's going to happen on her tail. Now, depending on which one those are, is going to be dependent if it's a room-wide AoE that you need to stack on her, or if it's going to be a cross DPS one-shot that if you're standing in, it'll kill you. Should be coming up shortly. That was the other side, so you can see we just moved. Then she's going to do little pom-poms and stuff. This fight's actually pretty fun. Actually, all the variant bosses are pretty fun in their own way. It might be just because they're new to me and I just discovered them the other day. So see that white tail floating right there? Boom, there's your cross. So now you know that whenever you see that white tail, there's going to be a cross DPS move happening right after it. All the mechanics at this boss, and see the green tail, is AoE, so you want to stay right on top of her. So she's going to transition from doing a long ground kind of DPS run like a charge, and then she's immediately going to move into a green tail or a white tail, and that's going to tell you where you need to be. So this is a white tail, and I think I might have screwed this one up, but she's going to do a little charge. White tail's the cross, so you want to make sure you're 45 from that cross so you don't get hit by it, and then carry on. She should be summoning some little pom-pom tails, little scrub brushes here. They're going to charge up, and she's going to do another move that kind of activates them. And then when she does that, it's a one-shot mechanic for like the whole room. There's just very minimal spots for you to go try to hide in and make it through the fight. I just completely got lucky when I did it, and I found the squeakiest, teeniest little spot on the floor to survive it. The only other big mechanic that this boss has is going to be the pom-pom sweeping brooms that kind of, oh, they're popping up right now. So you want to get as close to them as possible and then run through, because they're going to just work their way across. If those things hit you, it is also a one-shot. So just wait for them to hit, stand really close to their ground markers. So this is a AoE, so you're going to want to run up on her because of the green tail here. And I didn't, because I'm still learning at this point. So yeah, and that's kind of the fight. Outside of seeing that big nasty AoE that's going to appear with a little bit of survival room, it should be popping up here. So you see those palms, there's 3 or 4 in different spots. She's going to charge a couple of them up, and one of them she's not. The one that she's not, I thought was going to be the safe zone, but I don't know how to tell that. So she's doing the sweep. She charged up 2 of them. The palm below us is safe, so I thought it'd be safe to be around it. And then you see how big this one-shot AoE is in this room. I don't quite know how you survive that thing, but I fluked out and did it, and then I still got the win out of this. But that's the kind of whole fight in the nutshell. I'm going to leave you with the rest of this fight just to see it finished off, and then I will see you at the middle boss, the last boss in this variant dungeon path. Alright guys, so we are on the Gladiator, the last boss in the 3 paths of the Variant Dungeon. This boss gave me a little bit more trouble than the other bosses, just due to the ground AoE mechanic that he has. I still don't understand it, and I feel like a dummy saying it, but if somebody knows the mechanic correctly so I can explain it correctly and know how to do it correctly, it would be great. Right now I just kind of cheesed it, ran to the outside, and used my charge to get to the inside to where it's safe. So he's going 2 bars, I charged in, then he does a room wide AoE. So I don't know how to tell how big that's going to be, but that's how I managed that mechanic. The whole fight was just getting to the very outside of the circle, so I didn't get hit with anything, and then using my charge to get in there, so I didn't have to deal with getting hit at all. That mechanic, me trying to figure it out, wiped me a few times. So I got to the point where I'm going to go to the outside and just rush in. But I know there's got to be a way for you to figure it out so you don't get hit without a charge, because there's a lot of classes that don't have that ability to work through and work with. Other than that, he's got a line kind of attack that does the same thing. So you want to stand in front of the last line that he picks, and then move directly behind it after, because he's going to AoE one half of the room and AoE the other half of the room. This portion right here, there's wind out of the 4 things. You want to go to the one with the arrow shooting up, because it's going to kick you high. You can DPS right until the end of the cast, and then move towards the arrows to get out of it, so you don't get hit by his big move that he does, because it's a one-shot as well. And then you just can carry on. Then all of the mechanics that he's done are going to kind of stack with each other, just like the rest of the bosses in the Variant Dungeons. They're all going to stack with each other. They're going to push them more together, closer together, faster. And you just got to kind of work through them, be patient, take your time. Here's that line mechanic. So he's going to the first bar on this one. So you're going to stand between him and the first bar. Always between him and the second bar, between him and the third bar, whichever one he picks. And then immediately go to the other side of that bar where it was. So you dodge that AoE from the other side. So it's a room-wide AoE, or half a room-wide AoE, and then half a room-wide AoE, depending on which side of that line you're on. So you just need to be aware of it. These balls on the outside, there's nothing really to worry about. Stand in a safe spot, and this next safe spot's always going to be 45 degrees from where it was. It's never straight left or right. It's always 45 degrees. And then back into the line. I think he picks 2 here. He might pick 3. Okay, so he picks 3, so we're standing on this side of the line. He's going to AoE behind us, and we switch, and we dodge his attack completely. That mechanic's very easy to work with. The ground squares are very easy to work with. Really, the worst part about this fight is that big circle AoE on the ground. He also goes on to stack a bunch of exploding circles all the way around him in order that they appear. So the first one's on him, the next one comes to the side of the room, and then it'll work around in a clockwise. Here we go, just like this. So on this, you want to make sure you're standing on the last one, or the second to last one that's going to explode. Then you're in your safe spot. He's going to do his ring AoE that I don't know how to manage. Charge in, dodge it all, rinse and repeat. Yeah, and that's this fight. So hopefully this helps somebody. I'm going to leave you guys to watch the rest of the fight, and good luck, and have as much fun with these as I did.